Guys, I'm Will Win, and this is More Than Just Music. So I wanted to title this More Than Just Music because as a new artist coming up, I wanted to share a little bit more about why my music is the way that it is, and give some insight to you as far as a new listener or potential listener, or just someone that's curious. You may have heard what I do, you may have seen me perform live, you may have no idea who I am, and that's fine. But today I want to cover my new album, Blood Moon Shaman. As far as More Than Just Music, I released Blood Moon Shaman on the eve of the eclipse because I believe there's energy behind that. I believe that it's an empowering event astrologically, and so putting music out is kind of quintessential to that embodying of power. I'm going to chop these up into a song-by-song commentary with you, give you a little more insight into, what went into my creative process and my writing process as well for each of the tracks, okay? The first track on the album, actually, the first two tracks, Aligning and Oath, they're kind of the same thing, but they're different. Aligning gives a tone of coming together and questioning at the same time. I have the lyric, "Who are you?" kind of for playing over and over again, because it's a question that I ask myself, not just as I was writing this, but for a long time, for years I was asking myself, who am I? What am I about? What do I feel passionate about? What do I enjoy doing with my life? It was almost an intrusive question to myself because it gave me almost anxiety in the beginning. And so instead of running from that anxiety and hiding from it and returning to a comfort zone, I wanted to embrace it. I wanted to embrace that uncomfortable feeling and kind of bring it to the forefront, because I feel like it's something that we all face in our lives. We all go through these moments of wondering, who are we? And so with Aligning, that question meets its answer, and in a musical sense, in a vibratory sense, you kind of come to a conclusion about who you are. And I didn't want to do it so much with words, I wanted to do it with music and vibration. So that's why Aligning is starting off as the introduction track in Blood Moon Shaman. Going into Oath is kind of the apex of that introduction. When I wrote Oath, I didn't know it was going to be that song until I finished all of the music to it. A couple months to get all of the pieces hammered out and the sounds that I wanted. And even then, I really didn't have any lyrics. I had maybe a chorus in my head, and that came to me as just like a dream. That was really not so much coming to terms, but embracing the fact that I'm more than just flesh and bone, and I'm more than just, a body on this planet here to work and get an education and make money and raise a family and then die. There's a lot more to it as a being, in my mind, as a soul, as a vibratory essence, part of the whole, part of source, and that's much more beautiful to me in my mind. And so I really wanted to write about that and kind of extrapolate upon those points. You hear the opening lines where I say, "Who are you, and how much damage could you do if I trusted you?" And that kind of relates to me growing up. I always looked for other people to tell me who I was. I wanted my teachers to define me. I wanted my parents to define me. I wanted, my bosses and other employers to label who I was as some sort of status, so I could feel like I fit in somewhere. As time went on, as I went deeper within, I realized I didn't need any of that. I actually started pushing all of that stuff away, and I gained answers from myself. I listened to the light internally in myself as to who I was, and I chose to become that person, that entity, that aura. There's a lot of energy behind Oath because it's a really personal track. Who are you to me and who am I to you, as the build up to the chorus, that relates to not so much talking to another individual, but talking to yourself. What do you mean to yourself when you look in the mirror? Who am I to you? And who are you to me? Is that someone that's going to be, grabbing life and running with it and embracing all of the beauty of it? Or is that someone who is stuck you know, at a job they hate, around people they really don't like, doing things that they are gonna regret later, you know. And it's because I was that person. I was that person that just hated everything about what I was doing because I was following other ideals. I was not leading my own path. When I became Will Win, I embraced the idea that I was going to give all of that up and start a new path for myself, about myself. And so when I trade hope to predicate with faith, I'm giving up the idea of saying, well, I hope this works, or I wish it would be like this, because I feel like saying that is only getting you up to the door of your opportunity. And it's not allowing you to open that door. It's not strong enough as a word. It's not strong enough as a vibration to get you through that threshold to being who you really, truly are. But faith is a whole different thing. And I just want to state too that faith, when I mention it, it's not about faith in a traditional God sense. It's faith in more of a self sense. You know, having faith in yourself, I feel, is the most important thing that we as beings can provide ourselves with, having faith in ourselves. And so embracing that idea and taking on faith and taking on making an oath with yourself and with your own light, it's a serious thing for me. It defines who I am, not just as a person, not just as an artist, but as a being forever until my body decays and I'm reincarnated again. Yeah, Oath is one of those tracks that every time I perform it, every time I sing it, I'm gonna feel it before the words even come out. And I hope that if you are watching this and you ever get to catch me live, that you see that happen, because it's, I can't explain it.